We welcome in a man I consider to be the very best broadcaster in the business. When he left ESPN a couple of months ago, I really thought the four-letter network lost its best talent. Better than Mike and Mike, better than Chris Berman. His show, in my opinion, was the best thing on ESPN radio. He is the somewhat new co-host of the Morning Drive on the Golf Channel. Every morning, 7 to 9 a.m. He is Erik Kuselias. Erik, thanks for joining us today.
Mike, that is about the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me in about 30 seconds. My mother would be very proud to hear that. I appreciate that.
Ask my man Brian Fritz over here. Even before you were coming on, even last year, I would always say, you got to listen to Erik Kuselias' show on Saturday morning on ESPN Radio.
He truly has a man crush here.
I do have a man crush on you, yes.
I appreciate that. It's nice to have someone have a man crush on me once in a while.
Erik, first of all, how is the Morning Drive going? Obviously, you're a golf commentator now when traditionally you covered all the football, baseball, basketball type of sports.
Well, the show's off to an unbelievably good start. We're really happy and proud. The golfers have been so, gracious to the show. Martin Keimer is world number one in his press conference is saying, hey, I watch Morning Drive all the time. This is the show I get up with. Phil Mickelson's come on. We've had Tiger Woods on. We have Tiger Woods' coach on today. We have Ricky Fowler in studio tomorrow. They're all sort of clamoring to come on, which is just overwhelming, unexpected, and just something that we're really, really, really happy with. So far, so good.
Erik, what I like about it is that you guys don't just talk straight golf. You try to incorporate some other stuff like the NCAA basketball tournament to make it more interesting for the casual fan. Is that something you've intentionally done?
Yeah, I think the motto has been, if you love golf but you don't only love golf, this will be a perfect spot for you in the mornings. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, we do talk about the NCAA tournament. We try to relate stuff to golf. We can come up with different issues. We can do things quick and hard-hitting and fast. We can try new stuff out. We've sort of been given the carte blanche to just make it fun and make it interesting and make it sort of golf-centric. So that's the show.
Erik, you're having Johnny Miller on your show this morning. A lot of golfers actually do not like Johnny Miller because they think he's sometimes overly critical. That's why I do like him. What are your thoughts on Johnny Miller as a commentator?
I love Johnny Miller. God bless him for being critical. I hope he gets more critical. I hope as he gets older and eventually, decades from now when he's still going, I hope he's as crotchety as anybody has ever been. It's funny, it's interesting, it's entertaining. Look, this is a guy who beat Arnold Palmer in one major and Jack Nicklaus in another. He knows the game. He knows the sport. He's opinionated. What do you want? Some guy just be vanilla and tell you what you can determine on your own watching the broadcast? I need some insight, man. Pump up the volume on me. Make me feel something. And Johnny Miller does that, so he'll be a welcome guest. He's tweeting and telling everybody on the NBC broadcast he's going to bring it on our show. So I'm anxious to see if he wants to, throw mitts on the set with Gary or something.
Erik, speaking of being, critical, like I said, you're obviously used to talking about football, basketball, baseball, and those are sports that a lot of times some of the major topics we discuss are often scandalous. Labor disputes, Barry Bonds' drug trial, Cam Newton getting paid off in college. That's what the sports media sort of has become in a lot of ways, analyzing scandals. With the exception of Tiger's love life, you really don't have that much scandal in golf. How's that going to be different for you to make it interesting when really you're talking about the game itself mostly?
I never believed you had to sell scandal to be interesting, so it's sort of a welcome change that I'm in a sport now primarily that is sort of scandal-free with the exception of Tiger, as you mentioned. I think that's kind of a good thing. Does anybody want to hear any more about steroids right now? I mean,
No.
Really, I'm done. I don't care. I don't care about the list. I don't care about the steroids. I'm not looking to break down the Barry Bonds trial in detail. I don't care. I'd rather talk about what's happening in college football than break down the fact that Cam Newton was, in my opinion, almost clearly on the take and being sold by his dad to the highest bidder. That's all nice and good, but don't we watch sports for the games and the drama and the fact that you get to go tailgate with your son and throw the Nerf football around and get the 6-foot sub and have all that kind of good stuff? I'm not going to let these guys ruin it for me, man. I'm happy to get back to what's actually happening on the course, on the field, between the lines.
Bravo. Erik, if you were doing an NCAA tournament-style bracket of the Arnold Palmer Invitational or as we like to call it, the Arnie. Would Tiger Woods be a number one seed?
No. He's not there yet. Look, he's getting there. And I thought shooting a 66 on Sunday last time out and playing well at the Tavistock Cup and finally saying something positive, which was, I fixed it on the course. Before I could never fix my problems on the course. I need to go back to the range. I need to go back to film. I was fixing it on the fly. These are all very good things. And he's going to get it straightened out. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. But I don't think he's there yet. I'm going to ask Sean Foley today when he's in the program, how far away do you think he is? And it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say. But Tiger's not all the way there yet. I still think right now he would not be a one seed. He's not one of the top 4 players in this tournament to win it.
Erik, I was on a website this morning, and it showed a picture of Tiger's purported new girlfriend, and it said something about a DUI investigation involving this woman. I'm just wondering, how much do you think Tiger is bothered by the fact that this is a guy who used to guard his privacy like the Holy Grail, and now anything he does, the people he dates, is front page news, website news? Do you think that plays into the fact that he's still struggling mentally with his golf game?
Of course. He's got to get used to his new normal, his new life, his new normal. These are not temporary changes. He's not been thrown into, wow, it's going to be a turbulent 6 months. This is the way it is here forward. He doesn't see his kids every night here forward. He's no longer married to his wife here forward. He's got to figure out what tournaments he's going to play based around a custody and visitation schedule set by a judge. That is the new normal. That is not changing. That is not going away. And if it takes you a while to adjust to your new normal, your new life, I can sort of understand that. I was a divorce lawyer for a while before I got into sports. I sat a lot of people in the big leather chair, poured them a Fresca, busted out the tissues, and had the heart-to-heart talk with them and said, look, it's going to be a lot different. You're in my office, and I'm getting divorced, and I'm going to have freedom. I get it. But your life is going to be very, very, very different. In some ways better, in some ways worse. But you're going to have to adjust. If it's taking them a little time to adjust, I suppose that's okay with me.
By the way, you don't still drink Fresca. Nobody drinks that. Huh?
That's why you pour. Yeah, nobody drinks Fresca. I mean, it's just sort of it's an old Caddyshack line for me. How about a Fresca? So no, nobody drinks Fresca. I don't have Fresca. I don't have Tab. I do drink Yoo-Hoo though. I'm a huge Yoo-Hoo guy.
Is that real chocolate milk or is that just chemical chocolate milk?
There's not a drop of milk in Yoo-Hoo. The number one ingredient in Yoo-Hoo is water. It's just chocolate goodness, man. That thing's the nectar of the gods.
Erik, last couple of things. Golf ratings on Golf Channel this year, at least as of a couple weeks ago, had skyrocketed. I'm just wondering, why is that? Is it because you're on the network now? Give me an explanation.
That's you know what? I can take credit for a lot of things, but saying that is like Al Gore saying he invented the internet, man. That just ain't true. No, I think probably the biggest reason is you still have people with will he or won't he on Tiger Woods. The tour has decided to sort of manufacture the best pairings or groupings, which I think has been smart on Thursday and Friday. When you know you're going to get Tiger and Phil standing next to each other, more people will come watch. So when you have, I don't know what Tiger's going to do next, better groupings to watch on TV. You've had lousy weather in the Northeast where people have been just snowed in with nowhere to go under 9 feet of snow. And you've had some pretty compelling storylines. I think it's all been sort of 5 or 6 good things in the same time for golf, which has propelled the ratings.
Erik, quick topics. Why did you stop being a lawyer?
Because being a lawyer is not as fun as talking sports for a living.
Charles Barkley as a college basketball analyst.
I think it will be like having a candy bar for dinner. It sounds like a good idea, but after a while it's going to give you a headache.
Why did Tennessee wait until now to fire Bruce Pearl?
Because I think if he had ended up in the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8, they'd have kept him, because at the end of the day, it's can you win games for me?
Is Jim Tressel next?
I don't think he's going to get fired because, like I just said, it's about winning games, and the one thing that guy does is win games.
Do the Gators or Seminoles have a chance of winning the national title?
Of course, because when you're in the SEC taking Florida first, If you can run through and you get a couple of breaks here and there, of course, if you're an SEC team with one loss or no losses, you're probably going to play for it. So yes, I think Florida always has a chance with their ability and talent. Florida State, I think they're probably one more year away, but definitely on the come with Jimbo.
A quick word of advice for a newspaper guy trying to do a morning radio show.
Yeah, have fun. If you're having fun, they're having fun.
He is Erik Kuselias, co-host of Morning Drive on the Golf Channel. They will have Johnny Miller on this morning. That show is on from 7 to 9 a.m. live on the Golf Channel, and it's replayed throughout the day, is it not?
Yeah, they go one more hour. We play a second hour there.
Erik, thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime, boys.